Now, Victoria, do we know, first of all, why the king wasn't in vision? We hear his voice but don't see his face.
Yes, very practical reasons, actually, JJ. Simply that Worcester Cathedral does not have the ability to broadcast video images. So you may remember at the Commonwealth Day service, the King did a video message for that. This is sort of the way he's doing these big set-piece events at the moment, because it's a way to have a presence, it's a way to reassure people while also maintaining his health. It's not sensible to be around lots of people. So it was Worcester Cathedral said, well, we can do audio, but we're not quite set up for video.
OK. But you can see why people are going to think there's something else going on. There's so many conspiracy theories anyway around the royal family now. Some people are going to say, could you not just get someone with a mobile phone to go in and film it for him? No?
Well, it's a nice idea. I think the fact they could actually have done the videoing, it's just there wasn't any way to play it. And unfortunately, these conspiracy theories, it's kind of, they've taken on a life of their own, haven't they? And they've spiraled out of control. But I think the great British public, for the most part, recognises that social media doesn't represent the greater whole. And when they've been polled and we've chatted to man on the street, they've all said, we know everyone's fine, we know why it is that they're not appearing in public. We understand, and I think sympathy's on their side.
I was very happy to see that King Charles quoted the Bible in his address to the nation. In a time when Christianity, I feel, in this country is becoming a little bit less prevalent, how influential and significant is that Charles is going back to? We are a part of the Church of England. This is fantastic.
We absolutely are, and he's the head of the Church of England. And I think he's taken a lot from his late mother. He's a very spiritual man himself, not just Christianity. He's a man who has embraced all faiths. He's learnt about all faiths. He learnt the Quran. This is a man who's really interested and has preached religious tolerance for over 40 years. But I think he recognises that Easter in particular is one of the most important events on the Christian calendar. And for his late mother, the Queen, she was very spiritual. She was a devoutly religious woman, and she felt particularly connected to Maundy Thursday. So he will have been very disappointed to miss this. It's only the second Maundy Thursday of his reign. So the fact that he wasn't there will have hit hard. But I think it was important to him to share a Christian message. And we saw that in the Bible verse that he chose, but also in the actual message. It was about service. It was about kindness. It was about extending the hand of friendship. And I think those are all messages that we could stand to hear right now.
Is that a message he's trying to do towards William and Harry, maybe?
Maybe. Do you know what? We could read between the lines on everything. It could also be like reaching out to conspiracy theorists who are just promoting the most heinous stuff on social media. Like, just pause, take a moment, look at your neighbour, look at your fellow man, reach out the hand of friendship.
I'm happy he didn't quote anything about Cain and Abel, because that really would have set tongues wagging. When are we going to see King Charles then?
That's a very good question. I think they've done a phenomenal job in terms of making sure we do see him through pictures on social media. Of course, the pandemic did allow for a monarch to become sort of a virtual monarch. The Queen's mobility issues meant she wasn't out and about as well. But I know people are ready to see him in those forward-facing engagements. And the first of those is going to be Easter Sunday. He is going to lead the family to a church service at St George's Chapel. It's going to be a reduced number, a much smaller congregation, because, of course, he's following doctor's orders. It's not sensible while you're going through chemotherapy to surround yourself with lots of people. But King Charles is a man who loves a walkabout. You'll often see his wife going, come on, darling, come on. He likes to be with people. He likes meeting people. He likes having conversations with people. So I think we will start to see a ramp up based on what the doctors think is viable, what's possible, and what's not going to compromise his health. So garden parties, they may be a little bit of a stretch, but I know he's certainly going to be working towards being able to appear for Trooping the Colour.
Look, it's no secret. Anyone who watches me on this show, on The Talk, knows I'm not a fan of Prince Andrew. I don't even want to call him Prince Andrew. I'm going to call him Andy, because he doesn't deserve that respect. Is he going to be there on Sunday, cowering behind his brother?
Possibly, and I think you're speaking for the masses when you say that you're not terribly fond. I think that is the general feeling across the Commonwealth, not just in the UK. All we know at the moment is that members of the royal family will join the King and Queen Camilla. Some would argue that church is exactly where Prince Andrew probably should be. But it's never a popular image when he's seen. I think there was a lot of bad press, wasn't there, when there was the memorial service for King Constantine and Andrew was perceived to be leading the royals. Actually, anyone who really... You'd have to really closely follow the royals to understand this. They were there in precedent. So actually, although he was at the front, he was actually representing the back of the pack because they go in order of precedent. But for anyone taking the pictures and for regular people just looking at those images, it looked like he was kind of leading the charge, laughing and joking. It didn't go over well. So I'm hoping to see the King front and centre. And Andrew, if he is there, he does live in Windsor. Chances are he will be. But hopefully we'll see a little more humility from him and more of a backseat position.